Out of nowhere, an action figure tumbled from a shelf behind him on his desk. The unease on his usual composure was gone, his eyes darted around the room, his hands frozen over his keyboard. Which of these incidents gave you and drop a like? It really helps with the algorithm. And for videos, click on the screen now.
በዚህ በማታ አስባችሁታል? እዩት እንደዚህ ጨልሞ ሪያክት አርግ ነው
that left them questioning whether the night, and they weren't the only ones who had a ghost hunt spiral.
እዚህ ቤት ውስጥ ነው
because Faye's Rug's haunted investigation started as just another
ይኸውላችሁ አሁን እነዚህ ሚስተሪ መሪዎች ናቸውና
he found himself afraid to even set foot in his own At first everything seemed like room, every moment cracking jokes. But as they ventured deeper, things took a sinister turn. Strange noises echoed through the house, growing louder each time they tried to
Hey, 26 years old! May you please give me a signal that you're alive!
Moments later, his massive PC came crashing down. The joke stopped and the disbelief started as a game.
ሰላም እንዴት ናችሁ? ዛሬም በአዲስ ሪአክሽን ቪዲዮ ተመልሼ መጥቻለሁ። ለአንድ ወር ጠፍቼ ነበርና አሁን በኋላ አልጠፋም። ለዚህ ዩቲዩብ ቻናል አዲስ ከሆናችሁ ሰብስክራይብ፣ ላይክ፣ ኮሜንት ማድረግ እንዳይረሳ። ተምኔሉን አይታችሁ እንደመጣችሁ ዛሬ ጠንቋይ ቤት በማታ ሪቪው እናደርጋለን። ሪአክሽን ማድረገው ሁላ በማታ ነው እያያችሁት ስቱዲዮዬን ማታ ላይ ነውና በጣም ያስፈራል። ቀጥታ ወደ ሪአክሽን
From IShowSpeed's terrifying moment with a spirit appearing behind him to KSI's frightening encounter with a ghost. These are when streamers caught ghosts on live. During a live stream, IShowSpeed did what no sane person would. He pulled out a Ouija board.
This can lead to a lot of danger. This can lead to a lot of bad things happen.
As soon as he opened the box, his usual chaotic energy vanished. Tension. And for the first time, he looked genuinely uneasy. At first, the chat assumed it was all an act. But the second on the board, fun.
Anyone out there or anything out there that may be finding something.
Then the unthinkable happened. The planchette started to move on its own. And before he could even process what was happening, it started moving involuntarily, leaving him in pure and unfiltered shock. But the night was just getting because suddenly Speed started hearing loud noises. A spirit tried speaking to him and his name was Liam.
He's talking to me. He's currently talking to me right now. I hear his thoughts. I hear this guy's thoughts. I hear everything he's been through. He's telling me all these things of his life.
He was a 26-year-old entity who clearly had some unfinished business.
He was a 26-year-old named Liam. He was from Norway. He had a wife named Shelly.
That's when even when Speed spiraled into fear, his chat refused to take it serious. And everyone was convinced he was just trolling.
Liam was not happy that you guys were laughing at him. He said
in true fashion, he challenged the spirit to prove that it was real.
Liam, the young kid from Norway, 26 years old, may you please give me a signal that you're alive.
Moments later, his massive PC came crashing down. The joke stopped and the disbelief what started as a game had turned into something way more dangerous and life-threatening. But Speed wasn't the only one to experience the unexplainable. Neon and Aiden Ross started their live stream like any other. When they decided to explore a supposedly haunted location.
You may not like it, but you better leave now. Or it's your turn.
As they climbed over the fence, the sent chills down their spines. The building loomed over them, abandoned and decayed, as if it had been open for years. The moment they stepped inside, the air felt heavy. The massive black space radiated. Shaken by an unexplainable noise. Panic set in as Aiden demanded answers, but his friend was speechless.
Dude, what is in there?
Aiden refused to continue and urged Neon to check it out, convinced they were not alone. Then they saw it. A message smeared across the wall in deep red. Leave now, or it's your turn.
What does that say? Well, you may not like it, but you better leave now, or it's your turn. Oh, we're out. No, guys.
Their laughter stopped. No one spoke. The weight of those words pressed down on them. This wasn't a prank. This was a warning. Without hesitation, they bolted. Terror took over as they ran. The tension was suffocating. This was some spooky urban exploration. Something in that place did not want them there. Neon and Aiden are lucky they ran on time because Rubsy... During a late night live stream, Rubsy set out to test his nerves in one of the most terrifying ways possible. Game inside an actual haunted house.
I'm going to try and get into the gameplay. I tried to play the demo again. It's going to be fun.
He was completely alone and aware of the risks, so he made sure before diving into this horrible challenge.
I've talked to Jay. He knows what to do in case of an emergency. My parents know I'm here. Several...
Then, a strange sound echoed through the house.
We're gonna check it out, guys.
Rubsy froze, shaken, but investigate.
በጣም ሄድሴቱን ድምፁ ጨምረው ስለሆነ በጣም ነው ያስፈራው።
When he returned, something was different. His face had lost its color, his hands trembled, and his words came out all broken.
My mouth is numb, my face is numb, I can't feel my hands.
Whatever had just happened left him paralyzed with fear.
I don't know, go right.
በጨለማ እንዴት እንደሚያስፈራ በስመ አብ።
I'm going home.
Even after crying and rushing out, Rubsy had some control. Speed lost it all during this next live stream. During an Omega iShow Speed found himself in the middle of a chilling, unexpected moment that left him completely shaken.
Oh my God!
No.
Oh my God!
Out of nowhere, a man sprinted toward the camera and slammed his head, catching Speed entirely off guard. The shocking sight looked like he might pass out. Belief Speed struggled to process what had just happened. Even when another Omegle user popped up on the screen, he kept repeating the same haunting phrase. I just saw somebody dying on me.
Oh my God! I just see somebody.
Before he could fully recover, things took an even darker turn. The screen suddenly shifted, revealing a man with an unsettling grin, his face eerily frozen in place.
What the?
The feed cut out for a split second, only for the figure still present. That was it. Speed lost it. His eyes widened, panic took over, and for a moment, it looked like he truly believed he was seconds away something. At least Speed saw what he was dealing with, but J-Rob, in this next what was lurking behind him. J-Rob and Christy were in the middle of their conversation when something creepy happened. Something that sent chills down J-Rob's spine. A dark shadow appeared behind him, moving swiftly across the background. J-Rob's eyes widened in shock. Was that a ghost? He blurted out, his voice filled with disbelief. J-Rob decided to rewind the clip, needing to confirm saw. The shadow appeared once again, lurking in Chris's...
Bro, what?
That's when reality hit. This was a trick of the light. J-Rob was freaked out, visibly distressed, while Chris, unaware of the situation at first, struggled to make sense of what had just happened.
Chill out, I got time for this.
The tension only grew from there. Seeing J-Rob's reaction, Chris began to feel uneasy himself. He hesitantly got up to check his surroundings, but the energy in the room had already shifted.
Hold up. No, I'm gonna put the lights on, but
Yeah, do that.
No.
Meanwhile, J-Rob, still shouting in the background, fueled the chat's panic, urging viewers to clip the moment.
Somebody please cut that. Somebody please cut that back and clip it.
The horrifying presence left Chris looking pale and on edge, his once familiar space now feeling unsettlingly unfamiliar. At least J-Rob was in his own house, unlike Kai Cenat and iShowSpeed, who went to a haunted institution. During what was supposed to be a thrilling ghost hunting adventure, Kai Cenat and iShowSpeed found themselves never saw coming. While exploring a notoriously haunted location, they were when an eerie scream through the area.
bro, I got your back.
Run!
Panic set in. Second thought, both of them bolted. One that was illuminated by a spirit named Sarah.
Because back in 2010, when I first investigated here, other ghost hunters had put Sarah.
As they delved deeper, the atmosphere grew even darker. Their guide led them to what was once an asylum, a place where mentally ill patients were confined.
Where do you think we are at?
Yo, what is that?
Welcome to the asylum.
The what?
When Kai and Speed nervously died, the response sent shivers down their spines. In every single room, dozens of women had met their time. To lighten the mood, Kai pulled a prank on Speed by ringing a bell, causing Speed to jump in fear.
Oh, you don't like it, right?
But before they could let go, the door beside Speed slammed shut with force. And at the same moment, something inexplicable fell on Kai. Their screams filled the room as they struggled to make sense of Kai still gasping for breath. But before the door began banging, foot in that place became clearer. But this was nothing in front of what Sidemen went through. Nightmare for the Sidemen. The group set out to K's most haunted house, expecting creepy encounters but nothing truly dangerous. Little did they know, their experience would turn into something far more terrifying than they had ever imagined. At first it was all fun and games, exploring each room, cracking jokes, and light, but the tension shifted in an instant when KSI suddenly started acting strange. Without warning, he gathered everyone in a single room, climbed onto a screamed.
I have fought them! I have fought them!
His voice had morphed into something unrecognizable, deep, guttural, almost inhuman. His friends watched in horror as his erratic behavior became more violent. Fear turned to full-blown panic when one of them collapsed, and KSI appeared to be performing some sort of ritual. The atmosphere in the room grew suffocating as if an unseen force had taken over. At that moment, the Sidemen had come face to face with something beyond explanation. A ghostly presence that left them questioning whether they were the night. And they weren't the only ones who had a ghost hunt spiral. Because FaZe Rug's haunted investigation started as just another. He found himself afraid to even set foot in his own. At first, everything seemed like room to every moment cracking jokes. But as they ventured deeper, things took a sinister turn. Strange noises echoed through the house, growing louder each time they tried to dismiss them.
This spirit has been messing with the curtains, pushing them back and forth while Rug's been here. Can you turn off that blue flashlight to let us know that was you?
When they asked for a sign of a ghostly presence, the entire room's lights flickered violently in response. Still skeptical, they pushed their luck, demanding another sign. Ringing a bell than before, all over the group. Their faces turned pale as the house interrogated. The bell rang out again, this time with an aggressive force. He and his friends gathered by the fountain, trying so fixated on his family. The real nightmare. Picked up something they hadn't noticed. A shadowy figure standing directly behind them as they talked. Moments later, blood-curdling screams echoed through the night, sending them into a full-blown panic. That was it. They were done. Whatever they had awakened, they wanted no part of it anymore. FaZe's experience was terrifying, but sometimes you don't need a full ghost hunt to encounter the supernatural. Sometimes it happens when you least expect it. Thor Hughes' stream was something that chilled down his spine. Out of nowhere, an action figure tumbled from a shelf behind him on his desk. The unease on his usual composure was gone. His eyes darted around the room, his hands frozen over his keyboard. Which of these incidents gave you and drop a like? It really helps with the algorithm. And for more videos, click on the screen now.
በዚህ በማታ አስባችሁታል? እዩት። እንደዚህ ጨልሞ ሪያክት አድርግ ነው የምትሉ አላረግም። በጣም ከባድ ነገር እና ስንት አሁን ቆይ እኔ የምጠይቃችሁ አንድ ጥያቄ ልጠይቃችሁ። ስንት ብር ቢሰጣችሁ እንደዚህ አይነት ቤቶች ውስጥ ትገባላችሁ? ብዙ ቪዲዮዎች አሉ ዩቲዩብ ላይ እንትን ብላችሁ ሴጣን ሆም ሪቪው ምናምን እያላችሁ ስትሪሚንግ ምናምን እያላችሁ ብትገቡ ታገኙታላችሁ። እንደዚህ ነው ዘጭ የሚሰሩ አሉና በጣም ነው የሚያስደነግጠው። በዚህ በማታ ሪያክት ማድረግ እንኳን እዛ መሄድ ሪያክት ማድረግ ሁሉ ይከብዳል። እና ከተመቻችሁ እንደዚህ አይነት ቪዲዮ ስራልን የምትሉ ኮሜንት ላይ አስቀምጡልኝ። ለዚህ ዩቲዩብ ቻናል አዲስ ከሆናችሁ ሰብስክራይብ፣ ላይክ፣ ኮሜንት ማድረግ እንዳይረሳ። ይጠቅመኛል ላይክ ማድረግ እንዳይረሳ። እና ምንድነው እና ይመቻችሁ።